6. Okay, we're on the record today for our second review hearing in this matter. May I have the names of our participants, please?
Lee Heiss, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Nastasia Thomas, counsel for the department.
Megan
McVeigh from the department.
Michael McFarland representing mother. Ashley, please introduce yourself.
I'm Ashley Malloy. I'm Jackson's mother.
Mom had a mental health crisis, threatened self-harm in front of her toddler. 8 months later, she's on medication and doing well. But the court says it's not enough. The child's not potty trained, not in school, and keeps missing speech therapy. The family wants the case closed.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Heiss, I look forward to your report whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. I visited with the child in person. This family, I also visited with the child's grandmother, who they live together. This family is trying to function as they always have, which has been very successful for lots of family members. But I think with Ms. Malloy's mental health issues, they have to understand that the agency needs compliance for Jackson in a few areas. I think it's imperative that he gets into a structured school environment. It's hard to convince a family who has an available adult to keep him at home. It's hard to convince them sometimes that these programs would benefit the child, because they think of home care as better than like daycare or school environment. But with the mental health issues that mom is experiencing, although she's taking very good care of it, but the family has been through quite a lot. She's been through a lot, and she has a lot of history that still affects her. So she has to have that medicine. She has to stay on it. This child needs to be in a structured environment. And I'm saying the exact same thing I said 3 months ago. And the family does not want to put the child in a structured environment. The other thing is he's not potty trained. And at his age, he should be. So my impression would be, through the school system, there's an evaluation to see that he's critically developmentally delayed. So in that area, for example, so that we can get him into a developmentally like Lila daycare or another preschool program. I really think he needs to be outside the home so other eyes can look at him. He's such a nice kid, and he has developmentally appropriate toys at his house. He's got adults with him, but with his trauma history, I think he needs that, and we're getting resistance. The other thing that isn't happening is the court required her to have some supervised visits because they all live together. We needed a supervisor to come in and see what that looks like. And Pauline Edwards has gone in and gives us her reports, and Mother has also gone to Brene, but she's balking at completing Brene so that Pauline could be sufficient. But Brene is also very helpful in a very difficult way. And I think that this mother needs to get into significant counseling, because she's had some she had older children, and they were raised by her mother in Texas, and she really has a lot of grief over that, and she has to face it. She has to get through it. The other part of this thing is that Jackson's dad is in the home too, and he's very functional, very cares so much for Ashley's mental health. His mother supports them with the house. They're supposed to be paying some of the bills. They DoorDash, grandma watches the kids. Wonderful family, but they have to give, I think, Jackson deserves these outside services. He's been through a lot, and he has to have these other eyes on him on a daily basis, I think, and we're balking at that. We're balking at Brene. We're balking at putting Jackson in a program because he's not potty trained. They won't accept him, so it's not all the family balking at it, but why is Jackson not potty trained? It's a wonderful family. I think we need to leave the case open and get some compliance on these things. Thank you.
Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. McVeigh, can you please be sworn in?
Come on up to our witness stand.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do. Morning, Ms. McVeigh.
Morning.
You are the ongoing CPS worker, correct?
Yes,
And you prepared a court report for today's hearing?
yes, I did.
And attached to that court report are, you have your cover sheet, so thank you for that. There's the case service plan, drug screens, parent area report, visitation report, and a therapeutic visitation report. Are there any other updates or modifications that need to be made to your court report or any of the attachments?
The only recent update is she did participate in another therapeutic supervised visit yesterday in the afternoon. I don't have that report back yet, but she did get another visit in.
And currently the goal is reunification, correct?
Correct.
And what would be the barriers, I guess, this is in home jurisdictions, what are the barriers to being able to terminate this case and allowing Ms. Malloy to parent freely without court oversight?
I think the concern is, although she does have a lot of positives with following through with her CMH services, I have some concerns that she's not yet in therapy to address her mental health. And she did just start the supervised parenting time. Renee Moore had some concerns about can this mom parent alone? And the best way to do that, in Renee's opinion, was outside of the home, just Ashley and Jackson, and doing those observations. So that just started. So I'd like to see some more of those to see how she does.
Currently, the supervised therapeutic parenting time with Ms. Moore, how often is that scheduled for?
Right now it's once a week for an hour.
And is there any estimate, or has Ms. Moore indicated to you about how long that would need to continue before there's an opinion about whether supervised parenting time needs to continue?
I don't have an estimate on that because it just started. Like, we've only had 2 of them. So I haven't asked her how long because it's still brand new.
You comment, so to Ms. Malloy's compliance with and benefit from her case service plan, you mentioned that she's in compliance in the majority part, I suppose.
Yes.
What are some outstanding areas that need to be addressed other than the supervised parenting time and counseling?
That's basically the only 2 things she's not doing right now. And I would agree with Ms. Heiss on getting Jackson into some school program. And also Jackson was qualified for speech therapy through Total Rehab, and that hasn't been followed through on yet. And I'd like to see that completed. I know Ms. Malloy was going to make an appointment. I don't have the appointment date yet, though.
And is Ms. Malloy on a wait list for CMH counseling services?
Yes, she is.
Can you just highlight for the record why it is important for Ms. Malloy to be engaged in therapy?
Because the reason this case was open was because of a mental health break where she was threatening to harm herself and doing self-harming behaviors in front of the children, and there was a whole domestic violence incident between them due to this mental health incident. So that's the whole reason the case is open. So to rectify the concerns of why the case is open, that's why it's important.
There may be an argument made, well, she is complying with all CMH services, she's taking her medication. Isn't that enough?
In my opinion, I think that we should go off the recommendations of Renee Moore, which is therapy and the supervised visits, to make sure that she's doesn't have another incident. And she did have some, she was very honest with me about having some concerns of paranoia and issues. And she actually contacted her doctor and got that taken care of without a hospitalization stay. So she is utilizing the CMH services.
I was just rechecking the case service plan. There is no requirement for a psychological evaluation, correct?
Correct.
Okay. As relates to the child and, yes, moving forward and getting some structure in his life, are there community resources or through this intermediate school district, any resources that can assist this family in assessments, enrollment in programs or the like?
Yes, she did start the paperwork for Great Start for Jackson, but didn't follow through with that.
Is that something that perhaps maybe Ms. Edwards could assist with?
Yes, but they're not willing to send him at this point. They don't want to, they want him to stay at home with grandma, so.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to bring to the court's attention?
No.
To the best of your knowledge, do you know if Mr. Kotke has tried to establish any custody order?
No, he is not.
Is that something that these parents are interested in?
They're together, so that's why there's not. They reside together, they're a couple, so not as far as I know.
Okay, thank you.
The caseworker just confirmed moms comply with mental health services, reaching out when she feels unstable and passing drug tests. Her only issues? The child's speech therapy hasn't been scheduled yet, and he's not in preschool. That's it. So why is the case still open? Because they need proof the stability will last.
Yeah, I have no further questions of this witness and would move to admit the court report and its attachments.
No objection.
No objection.
Thank you. They are admitted. Questions?
May I inquire if the court were on YouTube?
I'm sorry?
May I inquire of the court if we are on YouTube?
Yeah.
If we could maybe just refrain from using the child's name while we're on YouTube. Can you refresh my memory? How old is this child?
5.
Okay. And how would you propose that we go about toilet training this child who has some disabilities?
He doesn't have any disabilities.
Okay. So at this point, is it just a parenting course mom needs, or what is your proposal on that?
I know she's been working with Pauline Edwards on potty training. I think the importance is following through with being consistent, and it's a parenting choice at this point. I don't know of any disabilities unless we do possibly need an evaluation see if this is part of a developmental delay.
You're not asking for that at this time, am I correct?
Not at this time.
Okay. What do you envision the therapy to look like for mother? I know we want to get her in therapy. It's on the case service plan. What do you envision that to look like so she knows?
Once a week for weekly counseling.
And do you have a place where she might solicit that?
She is on the waiting list at CMH.
So she's already signed up for that.
Correct.
So
She did that several weeks ago.
okay, so she's not deficient there. She's just waiting for them to see her. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Then it sounds as though we're envisioning Renee Moore's supervised parenting time, if it's successful, developing into unsupervised parenting time. That's the goal, correct?
Yes.
And it sounds as though you told us we don't know what our recommendation is going to be until we progress with more supervised visitations, correct?
Yes.
Are there reports generated from these visitations?
There's one attached to the.
Well, let me repeat. Will there be a visitation for every visit, or?
Yes. There's a report for every visit.
And will my client get feedback pretty soon after the visit?
She does, and she also is assigned homework assignments during these visits.
And I was looking at her paycheck stubs for her food delivery, and it seems as though that's a fairly consistent, good income. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with her.
No problem with that. Okay. So what would you say Ashley's strengths are?
That she is participating in her CMH services, and like I said earlier, that she is advocating for herself. So when she feels that her mental health is starting to deteriorate, she reaches out to her supports at CMH to avoid a hospital stay or to avoid, she she has a lot of strengths. All of her drug screens have been positive for her mental health medications and negative for everything with the exception of small amounts of THC, which has been safety planned in the home. So that's not an issue. That's not a safety issue for Jackson. Oh, excuse me, with the child. And she does have a lot of strengths.
And it sounds so the guardian ad litem's concerns regarding therapy, that's already been addressed by her. She's just on a waiting list, correct?
I believe she might be able to get in very soon. The last I talked to her case manager, she was like the top of the list. So she should be getting in within the next couple of weeks.
Well, it looks like potty training is really the only thing that we have that's a major concern, Dave. I don't even know if that's a major concern, just a concern. Would you agree with that?
That and the speech therapy is a concern.
Speech therapy, that wasn't addressed. What do you mean about the speech?
Jackson has been evaluated by Total Rehab, and he qualifies for services through their agencies, and that hasn't been followed through on.
So what does Ashley need to do, and what assistance can she get from you to get on track with speech therapy?
We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and she's already made an appointment as far as I know.
So she's on track there, if we confirm that she has an appointment, correct?
Right, and I mean, just the concern is it was recommended during the last reporting period, and it still hasn't been completed. It could have possibly have been completed by now.
Understood. Nothing further.
There was a note somewhere in your court report that mother was thinking that the case might close at this hearing. Did you remember that entry?
I don't believe. We talked about what needs to happen for this to close.
And you're not recommending closing at this time?
Not at this time.
If she did all the things that you're talking about, she was doing counseling once a week, JK went to speech therapy and got into a program, probably not even by the next review period would be sufficient progress. Can you estimate that?
I would say that she could get it done within a month or so if she got on board and was consistent and followed through with everything on a regular basis. Then yeah, I could see it closing sooner than the next reporting period.
Okay, so the housing belongs to JK's grandmother, is that true?
That's as far as I know, yes.
And the parents do not have a lease agreement on that home, is that true?
Yes.
And the income that you've been provided shows bank deposits from DoorDash, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so have you seen any other evidence of income besides those deposits?
No.
And are those both parents' deposits or one parent's?
They do it together.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
I have no redirect, Your Honor.
Okay.
Just one question, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
What's your opinion on accelerated review?
I don't have a problem with an accelerated review. The only reason I didn't ask for one is because the problem is getting things going and being consistent. And I mean, either way is fine with me. I'd like to see her get these appointments done because she is, like I said, has a lot of strengths and is doing well in a lot of areas, but we got to get these last few things done in order for us to make sure that JK is safe.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Thank you for your testimony. You may return to any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Call Ashley, please. Ask the lawyer.
Ms. Malloy, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mom just testified the speech therapy appointment is Friday this week. She's on the top of the wait list for her own counseling. Potty training? They're working on it with incentives and prizes. The caseworker admitted if she stays consistent for 1 month, this case could close. 1 month. That's the timeline now.
Ashley, can you tell us when is the speech therapy appointment for your child?
Friday.
Okay. And you heard what the expectations are regarding you and Ms. Renee Moore as far as expanding into unsupervised, correct?
Right.
Okay. And
I'm on the top of the list. I think they called me the other day and left a message. I was working and I called them back before court and they're going to call me back about the counseling. I think I am like really, really close there.
Great. Okay. Yeah, apparently there is a concern, doesn't appear to be major, but regarding toilet training for your child. Do you need any assistance on that, or what are your thoughts?
I mean, we're working with them. That's all we can keep doing. We try to give them prizes, try to give them, you know, different things to do, and it's just like something he's just taking a little longer to catch on to.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, he was a preemie, so I know they said sometimes that can affect it. So I'm not sure, but I know we do work with him. We watch Elmo's potty time. He has different snacks, different prizes you can get if he goes on the potty. So there's different incentives for him.
Good, okay. Are there any areas that you need help on that we can assist you with?
No.
Okay. Is there anything else you think that we need to cover or explore today?
No.
Okay. You've had a chance to read the report, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions. We'll see if the other attorneys have questions.
Questions?
No, Your Honor.
No questions.
All right, thank you for your testimony. Anyone else you'd like us to hear from today?
No,
Mr.
thank you.
Garland? Ms. Hicks?
No witnesses.
Comments?
Thank you, Your Honor. I think that Ms. Malloy is making progress in her case service plan, as reflected by Ms. McVeigh's testimony and the court report. As Ms. McVeigh noted, the outstanding concern is ensuring that Ms. Malloy is stable enough and receiving enough support from therapy and her natural supports to mitigate the risk of another mental health episode in which there could be a danger to the child again. I think that therapy is a very important component to that. The lack of follow-through may also be stemming from high anxiety or things of that nature that we just don't have enough information on at this point in time. So you just request that the 90-day review take place. And I know that there is a mention of accelerated review, but that 90-day review will allow the department to continue to work with Ms. Malloy so that she has ample opportunity to engage in therapeutic services, work with the service providers regarding the child's needs, and get some stabilization with, or some normalcy, I guess, and routine with him as well. With that, we just also ask for, I guess, the discretion at this point in time for the ability to move to unsupervised upon Renee's recommendation, if that's appropriate. Thank you.
Mr. McCarroll.
I'm glad some of the concerns of the guardian ad litem were addressed and that Ashley assigned the child for speech therapy. We've heard the steps that she's actively taking for potty training, and that she herself is appears to is on the top of the list for her own therapy. So I'm progressing nicely, a good income. I think we are on a fast and the proper track. I know my client would like an accelerated review, so I'm asking for that.
Your Honor, what isn't being said here, I think, is that there is less pressure on this family for a legal income and independent housing because they are being encouraged to act as a multi-generational family. And so these things that we're asking for progress on are important. The other piece, we're not jamming them with everything. I'm not thrilled with this income. It's DoorDash, 2 people depositing. I need to see that they're paying their income taxes, that they're paying their other pieces that go along with having income, because theoretically, I don't want them to be jammed up financially. It doesn't help this child in any sense, or if they had to go to jail for not paying their taxes. So we're not pressuring them on legal income. I think it's important to say that we're not pressuring them on housing. They have a functional situation right now, but we are 8 months into this case and we're getting things started. I think it's important to say that CMH is number one, and this mother participating and doing what she can do, taking her medicine, is such a big, important thing that we aren't even looking at some of the other elements that we traditionally look at. But, you know, we could say, we are one car repair away from not having that income, and we need to have savings and we need to budget for that. We're leaving some of those things alone and allowing the grandmother to be considered as part of their stability, because the CMH is so important. But these other pieces, you know, Jackson's at home and he gets outside some in the backyard, but we need him to socialize with other children. And he had some relatives come recently. They were looking forward. You know, this is a really great, strong family. Anyway, so it's a balance. Legal income. It's legally coming in, but there are pieces that need to happen. But I'm not going to harp on it. I just want to point out that some of the things that I traditionally would do are outweighed by the CMH participation, and letting Pauline in the house and participating with her and being honest. So many strengths in this family. So that concludes my comments.
Well, the court finds all interested parties are given notice for purposes of today's review hearing. I do find progress is being made towards the goal of reunification. The child is with the parents in the home. So perhaps the better way to describe this particular situation is to maintain and obtain an environment that continues to be safe for the child. The risks that brought the child under the jurisdiction of the court were clearly articulated by Mrs. McVeigh today. Her efforts are certainly in satisfaction of her obligations. Thank you. As well as Ms. Heiss.
Thank you.
There are some important goals that need to be met by this family before the court can release jurisdiction, and that is seeing that the child is meeting his goals, is getting potty trained, is getting through his speech therapy, some of those things that we can look and say, objectively speaking, that his needs are being met, and this is a child-centered home. I read through the exhibits and noticed that he has been discharged from his speech therapist because of the number of canceled visits. So that's an issue, because that is an indicator that perhaps there are still some things happening at the home that could be related to the mental health of Ms. Malloy that are getting in the way of him being able to get his needs met. He needs to be in a structured environment. And to do that, he needs to get potty trained. So continuing to work with the parent aid services and to gain those skills necessary to help him obtain those goals that he needs to meet for his own developmental progress is, again, an objective, important indicator that this family needs to demonstrate for the court to relieve them of the jurisdictional supervision that's currently in place. So for those reasons, the child will remain under the care and supervision of the department in the next reporting period, placed with his parents. That is the safest and least restrictive under the circumstances. I do want to say I appreciate Ms. Malloy making sure she is engaging with her CMH caseworker and taking her medications and dialing that in. So that's great progress. And so we'll continue to look for you to work hard on those goals and show us some of those other pieces of progress between now and when we come back. We'll have our next review hearing, which will also be a permanency planning hearing on October 24th at 2:30 p.m. Again, that's October 24th at 2:30 p.m.
Case stays open. The judge praised mom's mental health progress, but pointed out the child was discharged from speech therapy for too many cancellations. That's a red flag. The court wants proof the child's needs are being met. Potty training, therapy, structure. Next review, October 24th. Can she finish strong? Drop your thoughts.